on!
Fred. Thank you.
We were too late.
But you still made it.
No. I can't go through this again.
I thought I'd never be myself again. That I'd stay like that until the end. But you brought me back. Thanks, Fred. You always shine so bright. Too bright to see the real you. It took a while to see who you truly are. But now that I do, I'm charmed.
I know I joke around a lot, but I was serious about you.
Number 4 on this list. We're going to get pretty deep with this one. But it's Fret from Neo The World Ends With You. Before starting this video series, again, shout out to Umbra for asking me to do this, because he was the one who actually redeemed the channel points in my chat to choose like the next video I make. And here I am making a whole series of it. I remember specifically before doing it, he said, hey, I think you should do it after you finish Neo Tooie, because some of these characters in this game are just incredible. And I was like, okay. And I'm so glad I played Neo The World Ends With You before doing this series, because I have never, ever related more to a character in my entire life, to a character in a video game, I should say, in my entire life, than Fret. Not just who he is as a person and how he acts, but even his experiences that he's been through in his life, and even how he has dealt with those experiences and still deals with them. It's literally like looking in a mirror for me. Fret's a character who, you know, he's kind of a goofball, right? And he doesn't really take things seriously. He likes to make light of a lot of situations. He likes to have fun. And, I mean, that's definitely me. Like, I like to joke around a lot, and I know I do joke around a lot. But not everything is roses and daisies over here, you know? And it wasn't until week 3, day 3, whenever Kanon dies, to where you really just see that Fret is more than just the comic relief character. He's more than just like the fun character. Like, he actually has depth to him. I absolutely love characters that, you know, don't just come off as the comic relief and maybe the fun one, but they actually do have a lot of depth to them as to why they are the way that they are. Prompto from Final Fantasy 15 is an example that I think of off the top of my head. Fret is another example. And so basically what happens is Kanon in week 3 dies, and this was a person that Fret really just looked up to. I mean, more than just looked up to, I would argue that he actually loved her, right? You know, he grew to love this person, and she is somebody that has inspired him to want to be better. And she dies, and you know, he says this thing, he says, I know I joke around a lot, but I was serious about you, you know? And that was the moment where I was like, dang, dude, this character is deep. He's got layers, and I can relate, because I've dealt with a lot of loss in my life, you know? And the way that I've always dealt with it is kind of how Fret deals with it, is like, you know, why take things seriously if, you know, these things are going to happen? Why take anything seriously? That's something that he actually says, like, after this situation happens. And so, yeah, I do take things seriously, but I do like to joke around a lot, right? But, yeah, I mean, I've dealt with my fair share of loss. Whenever I was in high school, I lost my dad. My dad passed away whenever I was a senior in high school. I was around 18. Very unexpected. Had a heart attack playing tennis on the tennis court, and ended up in a coma. Didn't wake up. And, you know, I'm at peace about that now, but dang, like, it really hurts, man, because my dad was the closest person to me in my life. Like, I spent all my time with him, you know? And then for one day, for him to just be gone, dude, I mean, even still to this day, it sucks, man. It does. It really does. Like, it's not easy. I've learned to, you know, be more at peace about it. But it still hurts. And so to kind of like hide my pain at the time, right, I would just like, you know, joke around a lot and just, you know, be a goof, right? Because I wanted other people to be happy, and I still want that, right? But especially whenever it was like fresh at the time, like I was hurting a lot. And it's kind of something I do today, you know, like I don't have a problem opening up to people if they ask me about it, but I'm not going to completely throw myself out there unless someone actually asks me, wants to know like my story, or if I'm in a situation like this where I am counting down the top 10 characters in video games that have had an impact on my life, and I feel like I should share, you know, part of my story with y'all. And I hope that, you know, maybe you guys can have somebody to relate to, you know, because loss sucks. And I mean, my dad was one thing, but it wasn't even just that made me relate so much to Fred. It was quite literally 4 years later, I lost someone else that was really, really, really close to me. Actually, I say really, really close, but like, you know, it was somebody that I loved, right? And I still love to this day, you know. It was a girl, and legitimately thought that she was the one, right? That she was the one. And I don't share this with a lot of people, but again, like I said, I feel like, you know, I feel like it's important to share these things. So you guys get to know me a little bit better, and maybe you guys can have somebody to relate to, right? Because that's ultimately what I want to do, or try to do on here, is I really want to just relate to people. But yeah, it was a girl that I loved. You know, we went on dates. We didn't weren't officially like dating, but we went on dates, and like I literally was like, dude, this girl is the one. Like, this girl's gonna be my wife. Stage 4 breast cancer. She got stage 4 breast cancer, and she passed away. And that is something that is still hard for me to get through, because again, you know, I've dealt with loss before, right? So I know how to kind of deal with it, but like losing somebody like that, it's a little bit more difficult. At least it can be. And so I would do the same thing, right? I would just, you know, joke around to kind of just hide like the pain. But deep down, I'm hurting immensely, right? And I'm more at peace today with it. Again, this is whenever it happened, but to this day, because this one is a little more recent, it still hurts. It still hurts a ton, and I do find myself kind of breaking down sometimes, you know, just in my room, like thinking about it. You know, it's like something you like, I feel like we need to understand is that it's normal to cry. You know, it is absolutely normal and okay to cry. You can't just bottle that stuff up, man. That stuff, bottling it up, will lead to consequences down the line, I promise you. It's okay to cry. It's okay, men, if you're watching this, or young adults, young men, whoever, I want you to know that it's okay to cry. I do it all the time. Heck, I cry on stream playing certain video games, right? Like, but it's okay. I hate this thing that the culture has kind of embedded in our minds of like, oh, like you need to be a man and toughen up and blah blah blah, you know? Like men don't cry. No. The manliest man, the standard for a man to ever walk the earth was Jesus, right? And the shortest verse in the Bible is Jesus wept. Like if Jesus cried, man, it's okay to cry, man. I actually encourage it. You gotta let those feelings out. And again, like people who I believe who are telling their kids or maybe telling other people like, no, you're a man, you don't cry. They're afraid to cry, right? It's a fear thing because they don't want to be seen as vulnerable or in a place where, you know, they might not seem strong on the outside because like as men, we feel like that we have this obligation to be strong, right? But we have to understand that one, we're not perfect. And two, we have emotions, right? I'm speaking specifically to the men right now. You have emotions. You're human. Don't bottle up those emotions. It's not going to be good for your health in the long run, I promise you. Because that is something that I used to do till my dad passed away. And I've learned from mentors and just friends that like, hey, like it's okay to cry. The reason why Fret is so high up on this list is literally because I feel like we're the same person. We have quite literally went through like the same things. And especially even when Kanan dies, right? Because he says, I can't go through this again. And then he opens up the next day talking about like how he had a friend who, you know, he tried to do everything he could for him, but that friend is gone. And, you know, it's kind of implied of like maybe what happened there. But dude, Fret's dealt with a lot of loss, and the way that he has, you know, deals with it, it's like a mirror. It's like looking into a mirror. Like I've never related more to a character in my whole life, and that's why he's so high on this list. Is we've been through similar stuff, and he's actually somebody that I can relate to. But also, like, man, dude, if Fret was a real character, he, man, someone that I could walk with, right? Like I feel like I'd be best friends with this dude, you know. So yeah, Fret he's awesome, man. He's one of my favorite characters in Neo. Not just because I relate to him so much, but he genuinely is just like a really cool character, right? And the impact that he's had on my life really has just come from just how much I've been able to relate to this character and how much of myself that I saw in this character, whether it's who he is as a character or his experiences that he's dealt with or how he's handled those experiences, how he handles these hardships. Kanan's death was one of the most emotional moments in the story for me, and it was because of seeing Fret like this, right? Seeing this guy who, you know, he's, you know, kind of the life of the party, right? This fun character, and just seeing him absolutely break down, and, you know, this character who does joke around a lot but actually is pretty serious deep down. And I'm like, man, it's like looking in a mirror for me, right? Just his experience, the things that he's been through, it's like, man, this is literally, I feel like we've been through, literally, we both went through the same ringer, right? If that makes any sense. But Fret, what a guy. What a guy. You can't not love him. Fret is easily number 4 on this list. He would have been a little bit higher, but a couple of these characters that we're going to get into next, some of them have just been with me for forever and have just basically changed my life, right? Not just, you know, I didn't just relate to some of these characters, but some of these characters legitimately changed my life, which is why they might be higher than Fret on this list. I've learned a lot from just all these characters, and it's been really a joy to do this series. We're not even done with it yet. We're not even done with the video series yet, but like, it really has been a joy doing this and kind of just sitting down and thinking. And man, I mean, honestly, any of these characters on this list could really go anywhere for me. You know, ordering them the way I'm ordering them is just kind of just me actually thinking about like right now how I would put them. But We still got 3 more to go. I'm very excited for the final 3 and to dive into that. But Fret from Neo, The World Ends With You. Number 4 on this list. And number 1 in your hearts. Oh, Fret. What a guy.